Guys, I've built an AI tool which will be creating social media content ideas based on the real data. So let's see how this works. If you just enter a topic here and then click on generate content ideas. So this tool is going to be producing some content ideas which you can use to create content on. And also, as you can see, the points that we have here are 965, right? If I just refresh the page, as you can see, 15 points have been deducted for using this tool. So this tool is actually based on point system. Users will be buying out points and then using these tools. If the points are actually completed, then they have to recharge the points and use them. This is going to be the monetization that we are going to be using for the tools. By the end of this video, you will be able to create these tools and also implement the point system as well. So if you are looking to create these tools without even writing a single line of code and also publish them on WordPress, this video is going to be helpful to you. So without getting delayed, let's get started. So we'll be creating that particular tool on a different website, which is the test website that I've created for this tutorial purpose. So once you log into your WordPress dashboard, you'll be landing on this page, right? So we just have to install 2 plugins in order to create these tools. And the code that we will be using, I'll be giving you the entire code for free. So don't worry about the code, just follow on the process that we are going to do. So we just have to install 2 plugins, right? Just go to plugins and click on add new plugin, and we have to install 2 plugins. So the first plugin we'll be installing is called WP code. So once you type in WP code here, you'll be getting this plugin by WP code. You just have to install this. This is our first plugin. And the next plugin that we are going to be installing is for the point system. We want to implement the point system, right? So for that, we are going to install a plugin called Micred. So once you have completed installing all these plugins, we will be implementing or building this tool in 4 steps. The first step would be front end of the tool. Front end is something which the user can interact with, right? So we will be building out this particular thing in the first part. So don't worry about all the, so I'll just copy paste the code and I'll give you the same code as well and use the code for your tool as well. And you just have to change one single line of code. I'll show you that. So once you change that particular line of code, you can actually use this for any tool you want. So in order to create the front end of the tool, you just have to create a new page. Just go to pages and click on add new page and give a title to your page. I'm naming it as social media content idea generator. So after naming the page, just click on the plus icon here. You have to add a custom block. We just have to add the HTML code, right? So in order to add the HTML code in the WordPress pages, you just have to click on this plus and search for custom HTML. If you find it here, just select it, or else you can just type in custom. You'll be getting this particular block which is called custom HTML. So once you are here, so I'll be giving you a link in the description. If you just click on that, you'll be able to download the zip file of the entire code. So in that, you'll be having 2 files, which is the front end and the back end. So once you open the front end file, you'll be having this particular code. In the file which is named front end, you'll be having this code. Just have to copy this and paste it here. So I have told you that you have to change one thing in order to make this work, right? So the thing that you have to change is click on Ctrl F and search for Ajax, AJAX. So once you search for Ajax, you will be having this particular line which is called fetch. So here you have to update your website URL. So here, as you can see, the URL is for the Digital Money Space website, right? You just have to update it to your website. So it's very simple. You just have to replace it with the digitalmoney.space. So based on your SSL connection, whether it is HTTP or HTTPS, update it here. So if you don't know whether your website is HTTP or HTTPS, so just check for the log symbol here. If you have the log symbol for your website, then it is HTTPS, or else you just have to mention HTTP. So once this is done, click on update or publish here. So the front end of this tool is actually published, and now we have to work on the back end. So the front end of this tool is actually published. As you can see, once I have opened the page that I have published, you can see we have the front end here. So the next thing that we'll be focusing on is the back end, right? So after the backend, we just have to compute the task which is going to be creating content ideas. So let's now check with the backend part. Again, go back to your WordPress dashboard. We have installed a plugin called WP code, right? You'll see a block called code snippet. Just click on the code snippets and click on add a snippet. So we'll be adding a custom snippet here. So just click on add your custom code, and here you have to name your snippet. So I have named it as content ideas and change the code type to PHP. The language that we are going to use here is PHP, and you will be getting the backend code in the file that you have downloaded. just copy and paste that code here. After pasting this code, you just have to change one thing as you have done with the front end. So which is going to be the webhook URL, as you can see here. So this URL we are going to be getting in the next step where the computation process is all going to be taking place. So we are going to use a no code platform for all our computation work. So the platform that we are going to use is called make.com. I'll leave a link in the description so you can use that particular link to get a 30-day free trial. So once you are into make.com, just use your Google account or use your email to log in for free. So once you are in, you just have to click on scenarios and click on create a new scenario. So here we have to create a scenario which is going to create the content ideas. So let me just explain you the structure that we are going to follow. So this is the backend of the tool that I have shown you on the Digital Money Space website. I'll just explain you how this workflow is going to be. So once the webhook is triggered, based on the user's input, it is going to search for the results on web, and based on the results, it is going to, let's say if we got 10 results, it is going to iterate through each and every result. It is going to scrape the data, and then it is going to store all that particular data in this test aggregator, and all the stored data is going to be sent to the OpenAI module. And we have the prompt here. With the prompt and the data that we have gotten from the web, we are going to create the content ideas and send back to the webhook. So let's just try to create this workflow from scratch. So you just have to click on plus and search for webhook if you don't find it here, and click on custom webhook. So here you just have to click on add and then click on save. So once you do that, you'll be getting a webhook URL. You just copy this to your clipboard and just go back to the WordPress backend, like we have added the PHP code, right? So here you have to add your own webhook URL. This is the change that you have to do in the backend. So once done, just click on save snippet and then click on activate. So the snippet is going to be activated. And now let's try to build in the backend. And the next module that we have to add is the HTTP, right? In order to make an API request, we are going to use the HTTP module. So just search for HTTP and here choose make a request. And the API that we are going to use is from the Rapid API. I'll leave a link to this API in the description. You can just create a free account on Rapid API and then you can use this particular API for free for 20 requests per month, I guess. So you can just use this API. So once you are in here, you just have to change the code. Just select shell and select curl here. So you'll be getting the URL and your header and the API key as well. These are the things that we are going to use in the make in order to get the response from API. So just copy this URL as it is and you just have to paste the URL here under the URL section. And the next thing that you have to copy is the Rapid API host. And this is going to be the header, and in the HTTP module you just have an option called headers. Just click on add a header and you have to give the name and value. So all of this is going to be in the Rapid API itself, and the name of the first header is going to be X Rapid API host, and this is going to be different for all the APIs. So just check with the API that you are using and you just have to give the value of it here, which is going to be this, which is right side to the header name. And I'm going to add the API key like I've did before. And the value of the API key would be this. So once done adding the API key, you just have to add the query here. Just click on a query and you just have to add the query here, which is going to be exactly this particular syntax. You should not change the syntax. Like you just if you try to use capital Q, it won't work. You just have to paste in the exact same thing, and the value of this would be coming from the user input, right? So whenever the webhook actually triggers, we'll be getting the user input. After that, we'll be adding it into this here. And the next thing that we are going to add is called iterator. So just search for iterator and you'll find this under the flow control. In order to actually set this iterator module, we just have to run the HTTP request once. So I'll just give the keyword value, which is something like Nike. And if I just click on OK and then if I run this module only, it is going to run that particular module and we'll be getting all the results, right? So as you can see that the data is in the JSON format. So if you want to read this more clearly, you can just parse the response, and then once you parse the response and click on run this module, once you now see the data, it is now going to be in the most structured way. So we just have to store all these results and then pass it through the chat GPT, right, or the GPT API. So here in the iterator you have to select the data, and which is going to be results under the data. So once you have selected that, and then you just have to add the text aggregator in order to combine all the things. So in tools you'll have the text aggregator. So the source module is going to be iterator, and the text that you will be adding is title and description. And the next thing is going to be the OpenAI module. You need the OpenAI API key in order to use the OpenAI module. So you can just go to platform.openai.com and create a API key there. And once created, you can just integrate it with the make platform. Once you have integrated, just click on create a completion and choose the model whatever you want. Like you can choose the model whichever you required. I'm going with the GPT-4o, and the message that you have to add in here is called the prompt. So here you will be adding the prompt. So this is the exact same prompt that I have used for the tool that I have built in the digital money space. Here you have to replace this with the keyword, and the other thing that you have to replace here is the text and the keyword, which will be done after the webhook is triggered, which we are going to do it in a second. So the last thing would be sending all the data that we have got from the OpenAI to the webhook back to our website, right? Which is we'll be sending this to this particular code and then displaying it to the user. We are going to add a webhook response, and the webhook response is going to be the result of the OpenAI module. So this is the entire flow. And now if we try to run this once, this is going to be looking for the webhook response. So I'm just typing in YouTube's SEO here and click on generate. As you can see, the webhook is triggered and all the modules have been executed successfully. And you might see the response. I'm actually using the word might because we did not add in the parameters here, right? So that's why you'll be getting an error here. So as you can see, we got an error. And now we'll be adding all the user inputs here. So we'll be replacing the query with the keyword that we have got from the webhook. And also the other thing that we have to replace is in the OpenAI module, which is keyword and the text that is generated from the this particular module. So here you have to add in the keyword, and also at the last of the prompt you just have to add the keyword here again. And the next thing would be you have to add the text that we have got from the text aggregator. So now you will actually get the particular social media content ideas in the tool that we have built. So let me run this again. And if I again click on generate content ideas, and if you go here, all the modules are being triggered and it is generating responses. As you can see, we just got the content ideas that have been generated. So this is how you can actually generate the content ideas. And now, finally, the most important thing that we will be looking is how we will be monetizing this tool, right? Or how we will be adding this point system. If you have realized, we have already added the point system into our code. As you can see, these are the lines that we will be using. So whenever the response is shown to the user, the points required. This is the variable that we are going to set manually for the tools. And whenever the response is generated or response is shown to the user, we are going to deduct that particular points from the user's account. So in order to set this particular points required, if you just scroll a bit up, as you can see, we just have the points required variable here. You have to update it here. Like if you want to deduct 15 points, you can deduct 15 points. If you want to deduct maybe 20, you just have to update this to 20 and update the snippet. That's it. So this is going to be working if you have only the Micred plugin installed in it. We have installed this particular plugin, right? So after installing this plugin, you can actually use this particular code in order to deduct the points whenever the user has used the tool. So this is how you can actually create any sort of AI tools that you would like to. And all the code that I have given you is generated by the chat GPT, but you'll not be getting it in the single response. But let's say if you have spent some time on chat GPT, then obviously you'll be getting the perfect code that you can use this for the tool. Like I have created this, I don't know how to code PHP, but I have created a code, right? So you can actually use chat GPT to generate the code and make the AI tools out of it. And these are going to be just the basic tools. These are going to be more advanced if you have some sort of data which is something which is related to you or which you own. Then this would be like a game changer for you. You can actually use that particular data, and you can build out these tools and give it to the public. So this is it for the video. If you find this video helpful, just give it a like. And if you have any questions setting up the tool, or if you are stuck between, just come up on the form. I'll be happy to help you out. I'll see you in the next one.